What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Lever Talks. My name is Rob, and today we are talking about the beast, the man himself, Khamzat Chimaev, and what is next for him. Yeah, what's next for Khamzat? Like, right now he's in Russia. He's obviously probably in the line of potentially two title fights, right? We don't know which way he's going. Is he going 170? Is he going 185? Like, can he make 170? Or he's obviously made 170 before. What's waiting for him at 170? If, you know, Usman and Leon Edwards are all kind of wrapped up in a rematch. That fight hasn't been made yet. So that's making me a bit skeptical whether the fact they are going to give Khamzat that title fight. We'll see. I mean, that will play itself out. Obviously, you know, Burns wants a rematch. That's probably not going to happen. That's probably not on the priority cards. You got Masvidal, but I think Masvidal's kind of waiting to see what Conor comes back and does. That will probably make a fairly decent stand-up fight. And then obviously we got Mr. Colby Covington, the people's person supposedly, or the people's fighter. It's bullshit. The guy's a knob. I think that's the fight the fans want to see. I think the fans want to see Colby and Khamzat. I don't think Colby will fight him. I don't know if Chimaev would technically want to risk fighting Colby. It's definitely going to be a different fight. They're obviously both well versed, but I think Khamzat being the bigger guy, the more probably accomplished wrestler, likely Khamzat would win if you put it down to the ground. But we'll see. And then obviously what's at 185 or 185, you've got Adesanya and Alex Pereira happening. Depending on who wins out of that, that's in a dangerous fight for Khamzat if he was looking at 185. Pereira probably going to win that. If Adesanya wins it, obviously then he reigns the champ. And then you've got the Khamzat and what's his name? That big fucking Brazilian dude. I can't remember his name now. Costa. He's obviously been spouting off, so that's a potential fight. But that's again a dangerous fight. Whether or not Khamzat needs to do that fight, obviously that's an easy matchmaker. So we'll see what happens there. 185 is a bit of a tricky division because obviously depending on what happens with what's his name there, the Liverpoolian, I can't remember his name now. Fuck. Man, I can't remember names today, but you know who I'm talking about. The Smash Bros. The guy. Yeah, the name will come to me in a minute. But the if he's in the same division as obviously Jack Hermanson, I don't think Khamzat will fight him. I think he's already dominated wrestling. I don't think Jack Hermanson will want to take that fight. Costa fight or Vettori fight might push him up there into the top three, right? Put him into the title contendership. I don't know if Whitaker would take the Khamzat fight. That might be. I think they've been training a bit together, so I'm not sure if that would happen either. So thing is, Khamzat's kind of made these intertwining strings between camps and between people and training with people. It's like it's made a bit of a family web of complexity to try and get these fights organized, right? And I think maybe he's at a stage where he's going to be potentially going into a title contendership at either way. Because if you listen to the way the Dana White said about it the other day, right? He's just like, yeah, I mean, he's got to make a choice whether or not he's going for the title or 185 or 170. But to me, I read that as he's given a title contendership either of them. Whether or not the people like it, who fucking cares? It's not really your choice, is it really? It's UFC's. And if they're going to give him a fucking title fight, they're going to give him a fucking title fight. So we'll see what happens, right? I think Khamzat is probably going to be the next champion in one of the divisions. I think he dominates Leon Edwards if that fight comes through. I don't particularly think that Leon Edwards will want that, even though he has signed to fight him before, so obviously he's not scared to fight him. Usman's a riskier fight. Usman's obviously, you know, we'll see what Usman does when he comes back for his rematch, if he gets a rematch or if they give him a warm-up fight. There's no one really to give him a warm-up fight against because he's beaten everyone. So the warm-up fight could be Khamzat, but it's not really a warm-up fight. That's a dangerous fight. Because Usman got knocked out pretty bad, right? Is he going to come back the same as he did before? It's risky, right? We don't know. We've seen it happen, right? We've seen these happen where these knockouts happen. They do not come back the same person, and I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Usman had a good run for it. If he had beat Leon Edwards, probably wouldn't have gone down as best welterweight of all time. Probably outrun GSP, those types. But these things happen, man. You get KO'd the fuck out, and down you go. That's just the way it goes. And it may just be a spiraling downhill. He is a little bit older, Usman, right? He's on the path outwards. He didn't have many fights left in him. He's already. I mean, he even claimed retirement. So, just I don't know. Chimaev's a dominant force. It's just this, unfortunately, such a lean, big guy for 170. He can't. There's not a lot left on him to cut to make that 170 benchmark. And I think 185 is a riskier game. I mean, he claims he wants to fight anyone, right? I mean, that's what he says. Even he wants to go up to 205. But I mean, he's a big 170, but he's not a big 185, so 205 is a whole different ball game. But I mean, Usman was talking about bouncing up there either, right? And he's not massive. And you got the Bo Nickel, right? Fucking hillbilly motherfucker he is. Calling people out, trying to attach his name to people, claiming that he's a main card fighter and he's only come off the Dana White Contender Series. I mean, yes, he's an established wrestler, and obviously his accomplishments as a wrestler have been great, but MMA is a different game, man. Like, yeah, you've proven yourself in 2 fights, but all right, wait in line. You know, fight a couple of low-level UFC fighters and see where you get to, right? Don't start just screaming up the top. There's only a few that get to do that, and Khamzat was one of them, right? But he did have 4 fights of pretty much nobodies before he got there. And sorry if I called them nobodies, but technically they were. So we'll see, man. I mean, I'm excited. I've been a Khamzat fan. You can scroll back in this page. You see, I've been talking about Khamzat for a long time now, ever since I started this page, and even back before he had COVID, I had heard him through Ronda Rousey and Dana White were talking on a show once, and they were talking about Khamzat, and that's actually how I got into knowing who he was and how dominant he was. And I went back and then saw his first couple fights, and yeah, the man's a specimen without a doubt. And I'm excited to see what the next couple of years brings for him, and hopefully he holds the Stardom together. We can see Stardom has destroyed people. So we'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, and you've made it to 7 minutes and 33 seconds of the video, I do appreciate it. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that little bell that notifies you the next time I go live. And thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.